Wagwan, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. Welcome back to my YouTube space. There is this video, I've loved it. This black man has destroyed a white civil rights lawyer, a white lady. In this video, I want you to watch this video because there's a narrative where a lot of white people think, or there is this assumption that black people, they always need help. They need to be helped, like, I want you to watch this video and then you will understand what I'm trying to talk about, because black people and white people, we are all the same. As the white man can wake up and go and work to feed his family and himself, same to black people. We do not need sympathy, because this sympathy is what is creating the supremacy, or what is creating the privilege. White supremacy, for a white supremacy to continue, it needs to have threats, sympathy, to instigate fear, that we fear black people so that white supremacy can be there. Sympathy, we have to sympathize with them. They are weak. We need to help them. Just continue their white supremacy narrative. Let's watch this video and then we'll come back and talk about it.
I think we should talk to this gentleman.
Yes,
here.
sir.
Yes, I'm 65 years old, and I was born in 1930. And you know what? Black people was a whole lot better off. His more of them finished school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And more of them had their own business because I lived through it. And then why should I'm 65 years old, and I can't read and write. How come that I get all the money I want ever since I've been here? I ain't never been discriminated against. Ain't no white man never discriminated against me. If he did, I didn't know nothing about it. I create a baby. I can create anything. I don't need the welfare to give me nothing. I don't need no formative action. I'm a man. I'm not no kid. And Bell Curve was right. You is useless if you ain't got something to take yourself. Why am I gonna go beg a white man for a job? How come I can't hire him? I'm an American, and I'm not a black American. I'm a Louisiana American, and I get my own business. How did the white man get his business? And the white folks help me. They've been helping me ever since I've been here, and we respect each other. And you gonna tell me that the worst thing ever could have happened to America was that Civil Rights March? That is the worst thing could ever happen, and you come along and you doing more than Jim Crow, hanging, and everything else, people like you, because you're saying they need this. I don't care if they hang a mule up there. I am down here to get an education. I don't care about what you think of me. I don't need you to accept me. You don't have to accept me. I'm an American. And if I accept myself, you will. And you gonna give me a welfare check? How come you don't give me how come affirmative action don't get me a business?
Okay.
Do you understand what make a ghetto?
I bet she's thinking, Lord, I didn't have anything to do.
Do you think, why is it a ghetto?
Let's get a response. Go ahead. Do you understand?
The question is, why is there a ghetto?
No, the question is, I know you say, oh my goodness, how am I going to get out of here? What he's saying, and I agree with him, as a black man, it's a put down to give us something as though we can't make it on our own, just like the white man. The white man has to work hard. Yes, he has a little leeway because his folks have been owning this country for, ever since whenever. But he has to get up, he has to earn his way, he work hard, he disciplines himself, he do what it takes to make a life for himself. But with black men, liberal white people, some white people, and then those black people like the Jesse Jacksons and the Maxine Waters, all those kind of people, they seem to think there's something wrong with us, and they have to give us something because we're not able to stand up on our own 2 feet. So that's what he's offended, that he's looked down on as a man rather than, you understand?
I think I do understand, and as I said before, I have a lot of sympathy with these attitudes as they bear on how an individual lives his life or her life. I think I think it's very understandable if you live in this kind of system that we've created to just say exactly what our friend here has said, which is, I don't need you. Don't you just get out of my face. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I'm going to have my own life over here, and I don't want you coming in here and trying to intervene in my life. I understand it, but I guess what I'm saying is, first of all, not all black people do feel that way, and I guess it's really almost comes down to a matter of choice.
But you know why they don't? Because they're bums.
Well, just a minute. No, that's not true.
They
Wait a minute.
Babies. They don't want to work.
Oh, that is really stereotyping. There are a lot. Wait a minute. There are a lot of. Maybe we can agree on this. Let me put it this way. Wouldn't we all agree that there is not unanimity in the African American community on the subject of integration? Aren't some people in the African American community still looking toward the day that we're going to have unity and integration? And some of them are saying, who needs that? I'm just going to live my own life. Isn't it a split?
Yes, there is.
It is a split. And I guess what I'm saying is, if we were, because people have freedom of association in our country, they have freedom of association. I believe in that. It's a very precious right. People have the right to go off and be by themselves in some unstructured way. It's like our example at school. You can't make people have friends. You can avoid giving them a building and letting them take over the whole campus with their party that gets in everybody's face so that it permeates the whole system. But in terms of, can people hang around together? Absolutely. You can never do away with that right. And all I'm saying is, because we have the freedom to choose with whom we want to associate, we have to make it a real choice by being sure that black people who want to associate with white people, and white people who want to associate with black people, and those of us who want to be together in this country can be. You don't like white people, you don't ever have to come and see me. You don't have to have anything to do with me. But because I respect your feeling of wanting to be.
But that's not what he's saying.
But whatever it is, I completely understand it, and I think everybody gets that choice.
No,
but
that's
right
not what
now,
he's saying. What he's saying is that when you have a group of people out there trying to make his life easy by giving him something, he don't want that kind of thing.
Well, that's a different question. Now we've talked about how you have to open up the choice for integration so that those who want it can choose it. That's point one. Now the second point is, well, what do we do about things like welfare and I guess really, isn't it welfare? I mean, when we really talk about this, aren't we talking about welfare?
Affirmative action?
No, wasn't what was really bothering our friend here, wasn't it welfare?
Welfare, affirmative action,
Wait a minute. I don't put that.
The whole civil rights
movement itself.
All of it, all of them preferences. Look, I don't have no animosity in my heart against no Caucasian, nobody. Did you know what? I'm glad that my background was like it were. Because you know what? I'm a man. I can get the same thing the Caucasian get. I got the same thing that he got. And it was just as many, it was more supposed to be black folks that was rich when I was young than it is now. They own something. And this is what's wrong. And after 64, everything went crazy when people like you and all of them Democratic congressmen and senators that passed civil rights law. Can you define civil rights? They said they're marching for the civil rights. I want to find out who got them. I don't need Martin Luther King to go get nothing from me. I'm mobile.
Okay,
I can go get what I need.
Time is going on. Give it to her. Can you define civil rights?
Civil rights is the process by which we try to make the Equal Protection Clause of the United States and fairness and equality for everybody a reality.
Are you shocked to hear this guy speaking this way?
No.
What do you think about what he's saying? When he said people like you, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think he's wrong. I do think he's wrong about that.
But what do you think he means when he say people like you?
I think that there was a certain comfort in separate and unequal. It was never equal. I think I understand that being all by yourself, walled off in a ghetto that you can't get out of, you can't go to school with anybody, you can't get out, you're just bottled up in there. I understand that there's a comfort to it in that everybody's kept there and everybody relates to each other, and that there was a fabric in the black community in those years that is disturbed when people try to go out and blend. I understand hostility to that, because I do. It's just a matter of being able to imagine how it would feel. On the other hand, it is part of the pain of progress. I mean, we could not go on that way. That was a wrong, evil system, and it was not. We just could not go on that way.
Okay.
Welcome back. Now, if I'm understanding this video so well, is that this black man is trying to tell you that black men or black people does not need sympathy. You know, we are the same. And the story of discrimination, racism, and everything that is coming on the way, some of them are just there to make sure that black people are belittled. And the reason why some white people feel like there is need to help white, or there is need to help black people, there's a lot of factors that support their thinking. Of course, this white lady is saying that not all black men or not all black people think the same. But for me, I agree. The narrative that black people always needs handouts, needs help, needs this and that, you know, this is the narrative that it is there to continue lowering black people. Okay? And I'll talk about colonial and missionary legacy. Now, European colonialism framed Africans as uncivilized and in need of Western intervention. This mindset carried over into missionary work and modern aid programs. Civilized means that black people cannot organize themselves. They cannot show the leadership. They cannot just, have a good cultural and good society. And this is a mindset that was put there during colonization. Now, white people, children are being taught this, and they think of black people that whenever you see a black person, this person needs help. I need to help him. This was just a mindset to make sure that black people are undermined, they are belittled. Once you see someone and you're trying to tell people, this guy, he can't do anything, let us help him. No, so people will just think of it. Any visitor will come around, will think this person always need help from us. And that's what this black man is against it. Because he's saying it openly. I've never been discriminated. And I'm here in America. I've been here. I can create anything. I can work as far as white men can work. I'm a man too. I don't need your handouts. That's what I'm getting from this video, if I'm not wrong. Another thing why white people will see need to help black people is the guilty and responsibility. Some white people, particularly in the West, feel a moral obligation to address the historical injustices of slavery, colonialism, and systematic racism. This can translate into charitable efforts, activities, or policies aimed at helping black communities. I'm not saying that black communities should not be helped, but I'm saying that you should not do this so that you can continue to be seen as you are the only one. Of course, white people have been there. They have generational wealth because they got a chance to grow the wealth. Unlike black people who were denied their chance to have generational wealth because the ancestors of black people were denied that chance. They worked as slavery, their farms were taken away, and we did not get that chance to have this generational wealth. And that's why you see we have these programs to help black people. That does not mean that black people cannot do anything. Don't get me wrong. Helping black community does not mean that black community cannot rise and work on its own. It's a stereotype that black people needs help. That's stereotype. As far as everything will be right, the system will be equality to all people. health equality in health sector, in education sector, payments, wages, equality in wages. A black man can do more or can do what a white man can do. But this oppression of having inequality in health systems, education systems, working conditions, black men having it rough, the wage payment, black men having it rough. This is what we call white supremacy. To make sure this white supremacy continue, we must oppress these people. I cannot come here and try to say that, black people needs to be helped and blah, blah, blah. We have hands, we have legs, we have everything. And we wake up and we can work. We build these countries like UK, America, we build them. We were working the farms. That means we can do better. Okay? It's a media narrative. Western media often portrays Africa as a place of poverty, war, and disease, reinforcing the ideas that black people need external help. This creates a savior complex where white individuals and institutions see themselves as the solution. As I said, this is a systematic something that is being created to make sure that we continue ruling. Neocolonialism. We continue being on the top. Now, what do? Let's create a narrative to make sure that these black people, or for example, African, being seen as a poverty place, diseases place, any plague that is bad is in Africa. Now, for those who have not visited Africa, when they hear you're from Africa, they're like, oh, you guys, you're so poor. Oh, what do you want? Do you need something from me? Oh, do you need money? Oh my God. Oh my God. What the hell? No. Yes, we have places where Africa, there's a lot of poverty. But this poverty is created. If you give these people opportunity to work for themselves, if you give these Africans opportunity to control their resources, if you give these African opportunities to work on their farms, to own lands, that will mean that we will not need that help. But they deny us opportunity to own lands. They control food. They control the resources. They exploit. They make sure that Africa will be poor so that they can bring help. And the media will portray this narrative of Africans needs help here and there. We are not beggars. We ain't beggars. Black people ain't beggars. White people ain't beggars too. But white people are not our saviors. White people are not the saviors of black people. And black people ain't the saviors of white people. Everyone is living on his own means. Just give us freedom. Yeah. Give black people freedom and see what will come out of them. Give black people, let them own lands and see what will come on them. Do not discriminate. Okay? Have equality between every race and see what will come out of black men or black people. No? We have political and economic interest. Now, many AIDS programs like USAID serve strategic interest rather than pure altruism. Now, aid can be used as a tool of influence, dependency, and control over African nations. Now, these aids that are bringing to Africa, like USAID, IMF, World Bank, they are trying and saying that they are helping this organization. These are tools just to continue the influence of colonialism and having control over Africa, because now USAID have cut USA have cut USAID. Now the African countries who are depending from that, they're crying. And this will make that African to be seen. Now we were depending on this. Some black people are going to this organization to get medicine assistance that they were getting. Now there is no medicine to them. Those who are living with HIV, there is no medicine to them, because this white organization, they have cut ties with Africa. Now, just to make sure that you believe that they were the best, they were helping you. But that does not mean that they are helping us. They just denied us a chance to help ourselves. It's time for black people to know that we do not need to depend. Need to create our own ways of making it. Yeah, we need to do that. Another thing is that not all forms of help come from a savior complex. Some white people genuinely believe in social justice and work solidarity with the black communities, which accept that, and it's a good thing. If it's that kind of help, that's good, because if you white community can be helped by black community, the black community can and white community can help black community, vice versa is true. And vice versa, that is perfect. But it's only one way. Does that mean that black people not do something for themselves? Does that mean that black people only live with the AIDS? Does that mean that black people not build and create something? No, we can do that. But let me tell you something. If you are a youth and you are watching this video, I know the people with age, they know this. Let me tell you something. This narrative of helping black people and African countries, it is there so that the white supremacy can continue, so that we can continue buying the agenda that white people are the best, white people are our saviors, white people are the rulers. Sometimes problem is created and white people come in and solve the problem. You may find diseases is created and white people will come in and solve the problem. War is created and whites will come and solve the problem. And now our children and the youths that we have not read the history and we don't understand what's going on will be there praising these countries like, yeah, they have done this to Congo, they are doing this to Sudan, they are bringing medicine, education. These are the real games. Nah, that's wrong. Let me tell you today, that is one way of continuation of the narrative of white supremacy and white privilege. And that is one way of continuation of brainwashing of black people. That is to continue brainwashing black people and continue brainwashing Africans to see that we are little of ourselves. We are low. We can do. We can't do anything. Yeah. So if you see sometimes in a black community, you see a youth somewhere, African kid has built an aeroplane or a car, and then middle of the road, he is nowhere to be seen. And you just hear stories, he was taken by such company in the USA or a company, because they don't want you as an African to build your own thing. And we will live on begging unto them for support and everything. I know you get that. Tell me what you think on the comment section about that video. For me, I can say it's time we wake up as black people. We do not depend on AIDS. Let's not depend on handouts. We are not beggars. We can create some things. I think I'll finish on that note. Let me say until next episode, I love you. Until next episode, peace out.